All right, welcome to the Tuesday night training. I'm so excited that all of you guys are here. There's a couple of you guys that I haven't seen in a while, so this is really wicked awesome that you guys are here. And tonight we're going to talk about styles. And styles are a really important thing that happen in Pixel Perfect. And there's a lot of times that I see new users that are having problems and they don't understand about the concept of styles. So we're going to cover that tonight. It's a pretty simple concept to cover. So it won't take too long to cover it. So if you've got, some of those burning questions like, oh my gosh, Shelly, I'm going to die if I don't ask this question, guess what? You will have time to ask it tonight. So I'm really excited about that. So before we get started, do you guys have like any comments or questions or anything like that you want to just kind of drop out there in the wide open?
Okay,
I
Shelly?
think everyone missed you for the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. I would have much rather been with you guys than what was happening because I was definitely very, very sick. We couldn't figure out in the very beginning if it was a kidney infection or kidney stones. It ended up being just a really, really bad kidney infection, which I'm actually still dealing with. I still got some this junk that won't leave. So still on antibiotics, still dealing with it. And my guess is we're going to probably end up doing another round of antibiotics. So it was a pretty good one, and trust me, when I say I would have much rather been with you guys, I am so not kidding. But thank you, Davida. I'm glad to be back.
Hi, Shelly.
Hey, Edison. How are you doing?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing great compared to the last couple of weeks. I am like fabuloso.
Yeah, well, great to have you back. We certainly miss you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so my question is about the directory. I don't know if I missed it, but I'm not seeing it in my back office. Is it out as yet?
I'm not seeing it either, so my thoughts are that they're just not quite ready to push it out to everybody. So, ooh, I'm chashing, Gabby. So just keep watching your back office. Eric did say that we could get it possibly
Somebody's dog, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn down the microphone. It's not saying you can't speak. It's just that we're gonna kind of keep the doggies out. But Eric was saying that we should get it either yesterday evening for the directory or this morning, and it's still not on the dashboards. So all I can tell you is just try as hard as you can to patiently wait. And I know that's super hard because when we talk about the directory, this is going to be such a big deal, and there's a lot of people that are waiting in the wings, and they've been waiting in the wings since July the 4th, right, when it was announced that we released that. Yeah, if I can feed you any patience, try to have patience because this is a big program, and I do want to caution you that if you have been waiting for this, like you've been holding off on doing anything in Builderall until this comes, you're probably going to be frustrated when it comes out. Because the directory is huge. It is absolutely huge. And I think a lot of people are thinking, wow, I'm going to get a directory. I'm going to throw it together. I'm going to make $1 million. This is the way it's going to go. This is a lot of work. A directory is a lot of work. And on the surface, it sounds like it's a money-making machine. And it can be if you really plug away at it for a while. So I want to just kind of caution you. There's a lot of companies out there that would try to just really promote it, going, you're gonna make money, you're gonna make money, it's coming and you're gonna make money. I want to caution you, it's coming, but you're not going to be able to convert it into profit dollars without a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of thought, because the directory just as a general concept is a great concept, but there's a lot of competition out there. So one of the things that you're going to have to learn how to do when you're building these directories is learn how to really niche down and really get control of, down to the tiniest niche, what you're going to do with your directory. And I promise when we get the directory and I start playing with it, we'll end up doing a Tuesday night training. We'll do quickie Wednesday morning trainings. We'll do a boot camp. All that stuff will be coming. But if the directory is not out, please let me encourage you to just explore those other tools and continue learning while you're waiting for that directory to come out, because the directory is not the be all end all thing. It's really just the beginning of starting to get work done.
Shelly,
I just looked at that directory as something that I could use to put together a list of all the agencies for people with disabilities.
Right. And Davida, with you saying that, I'm glad you said that, because I want you and I want everybody to just think of how big a project that is.
I know it is. I know it is.
Right.
But
right.
but there really isn't, for people with disabilities, a central place that they can go to get help.
Exactly. So what you're doing is phenomenally beautiful and wonderful and fantastic. But at the end of the day, when you start putting your fingers to the keyboard to do it, it will be a lot of work. So
I'm not planning on doing it very quickly. I'm planning on it taking a month or 2 months.
This is me trying to reassure you. It's a great idea, but it's going to be a lot of work. Okay, I've done that in the past before, where I've thought, oh, I'm going to jump in and do that, and then when you jump in and do it, you're like, holy crap! I didn't know I was going to have to do 52 hours of work a day. So
I realize it's going to take time. I know that. It's not because there's so many. If I did it safe with the national and then go the regional and local, that's a lot of work to get all that information together and then put it in a directory.
It is. I applaud you.
It takes them a year to put out those directories of names, right?
That's right.
Books.
Yes. So this is just me not fussing at anybody, just trying to make sure that you're aware, if you're not already aware, that this is a lot of work and it is going to be a challenge. Let me get David. I think David had a question.
I'm not real clear on exactly what the directory would be. As an example, if I live in a small community, which I do, there is no such thing as a multiple listing service for real estate that's for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Would a directory work for listing properties and homes that are for sale?
It might be a solution. I'd have to see if we can finagle that into our directory system, because the way the directory system is set up is you start at the world, the world level. So it's going to be countries, then it's going to be states, then it's going to be cities, then it's going to be neighborhoods. So you can divide things out that you're putting into the directory by those categories. Okay. So the only place that you have like a ton of flexibility is really down at the neighborhood level. So that's where you'd have to start breaking it out into individual listings or something like that. So we just have to kind of jump in there and figure out, could we do that in the directory? And we'll see once we jump in and get the directory and start playing with it, if we can do that. Okay.
Thank you. Will the directory be able to have like a link on it that will go to a web page that you create?
Yes, absolutely. The directory it's like the internet version of the Yellow Pages. Okay, good. Any other questions, you guys? I think I saw somebody else.
Y'all may have already talked about this, Shelley, but one of my clients that I just picked up in a town with about 50,000 said he's going to need to redo his website, and he needs this and that and the other because the Yellow Book is no longer there.
Right, it's no longer relevant. Yeah.
Right, he said the population was too small and they're no longer going to produce a hard copy, but yet they still wanted to charge him $400 or $500 for a landing page and another $115 a month to be listed on their directory.
Yeah, and all they've done, Rico, is they've actually just converted to a directory on the internet. They're no longer, I mean, they may still print out books. I think I did see books recently that the White Pages and Yellow Pages have done, but really they're no longer relevant. I mean, I couldn't even begin to tell you where to find a phone book in my house, because I'm not sure I even have one. So they're just flip-flopping over to directories, which is what they're going to do. Right. So we, in effect, have the ability to make our own White Pages, Yellow Pages, or any other kind of pages we want. But what we have to understand is that when we're doing a directory, there is a ton of competition on the internet. So if I'm making a directory, and let's say that I'm wanting to do a directory of lawyers in Mississippi, that sounds like a great target niche, right? You're like, wow, that's great, lawyers in Mississippi. That is such a competitive area. If you type in lawyers Mississippi in Google, there's going to be a bazillion results. I mean, just a ton of results. So it's not even close to niched down far enough. So what we as Builderall people have to do if we're working with the directory is we're going to have to figure out how to niche down those directories so that there's a limited amount of competition. So you might say something like Spanish-speaking divorce lawyers. Wow, that would be a niche down group. I'm not sure that's even niche down enough for lawyers, but the reality is any area that you're working to build a directory for, you're going to have to figure how to niche down. And how deep you niche down depends on the competition, because your number one goal with your directory is to get into the search results for whatever the niche is that you're trying to create the directory for. And if there's a lot of competition, good luck with getting a directory to rank over a good website. Okay, so that's the goal. If you guys have done SEO in the past, many years ago, let me go ahead and fix that. Many years ago, if you had the word lawyer, because people didn't understand SEO and they weren't doing SEO, it was easy to rank for lawyer. Then later on, you couldn't rank for lawyer because that was a one-word keyword and it was really hard to rank. So you had to go with long tail keywords. Okay, so divorce lawyer, Spanish-speaking divorce lawyer, something like that. So those are long tail keywords. So now even the long tail keywords are hard to rank for. So now we have to go into really niching down and honing down to be able to get our things to rank, because it's harder, the competition, there's more competition out there to rank for keywords and even a lot of long tail keywords. So now we go into really niching down and trying to niche down to an area that doesn't have a lot of competition. And with our directories, because the internet is the internet now, a directory is not going to rank as well as it used to. But these days, it's not going to rank as well as a website. So you're going to have to be creative with how you approach directories and how you get them ranked and how you get seen on the internet. And the power of building a directory is to get seen so you can offer these people that are in the directory to have a chance to advertise for a better listing in your directory. So you have the basic listing that may give just their city, state, zip, phone. But then you have an enhanced listing you can charge them for that gives more information about that company. So that's one way you can make money off of a directory. The second way is that inherently it's going to have ads. It's going to have ads above it. It's going to have ads on the side of it. It's going to have the ads at the bottom of it. And all that ad space is yours for the taking. So put whatever ads you want. So they can be your own ads where you're advertising affiliate links like to Builderall, or if you're selling space for other people to advertise on your directory. So that's the second way to monetize. And then the third way is to actually offer these people that you put into the directory your services beyond just putting them in a directory. So you can actually say, hey, you're in this directory, but I see you don't have a website. I can build you a basic one-page site. I can build you a full-blown site. I can build you a chat bot. I can build you blah, blah, blah. So that's another way to make money, is to get people into your directory and build and get it ranking, get it seen by these people that are put into your directory, and then contact them and say, hey, I can also offer you this, this, and this, which of course are the agency type services that you can offer using Builderall tools. So the directory is a big deal, but it will be a lot of work. And there's a lot
another thing that I can niche down to is like professional speakers, whether I say motivational speakers or what is it? But the thing is, a lot of speakers, they so used to the old paradigm where they went to work for the corporation and they came in and they did, and some of them don't even know how to promote themselves on the internet, how to use it effectively, how to use the video, how to, you know, and I can probably go into some of these local like Toastmasters and say, hey, I'm doing a directory on speakers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. There's a lot of power in that. And then you figure out exactly how you want to monetize it. Because just always remember, we're not building a directory just because we're so special and we can build directories. We're building a business. This is a business. So at the front of your brain, everything you do with the directory needs to be pointed towards monetizing in some way, right? You do not want to do all that work without knowing in some kind of way how you're going to monetize that business. So it does require a lot of thought, and then it does require a lot of work. And then at the end of the day, depending on the niche that you choose, you may not be successful in monetizing that niche very well. So you have to refigure it out, rethink it, redo it, and try again. That's the reality of working with directories. Rico, did I answer your question okay?
Yeah, that was awesome. One thing is, of course, I have to take a look at it, but you know, if you want businesses to enroll, quote, for free, just to get a listing, so there'll be a form, I guess, we could put out there. They enroll for free, and then we could follow up with a connection and, hey, would you like a business card, you know, ad or a placement, or if you want prime placement or whatever, you know, and a banner or something like that. Yeah, there's some.
Right, and remember the power of that is to go in with a directory that's ranking.
Right.
Because what does it mean to them if you go in and you don't even have any results on Alexa that shows that you're even getting people to go to your site? So it's kind of, you kind of have to really
chicken
work.
Or the egg. It's the chicken or the egg, Shelley.
That's exactly right. You're kind of chasing, right?
Yeah.
And this is one that you can't fake it till you make it. You got to walk in there and you got to have something to show them that say, okay, we have this many visitors and this many blah, 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 and this many blah, blah, blah. So for you to get access to those visitors, to have them possibly come to you, we can give you an enhanced listing, or you can have some advertising space, and this is how much it's going to cost. So you just want to make sure you're going in there with a plan. So there's a lot of front end work to be able to do that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks.
David, go ahead.
Do you know if the directory, like you were just, gentleman just mentioning about a form that they fill out, could you create a form that would say what industry you're in, what's your address, what's your phone number, what are your hours of business, location, Google Map, all that stuff?
Yeah,
and have that automatically go into the directory?
Yeah,
and go into the directory automatically.
Yep. As you are building your directory, there's a lot of power you have on what information you're capturing and all that kind of stuff. So when the director comes out, we'll actually go through all of that. And I've seen it and haven't got to play with it a lot. So you guys know me. As soon as I get my little hands on it, there'll be some training on it, and we'll munch on it and chew on it and figure out how we can master it. But you do have some power in being able to control what's happening on that directory, what information you're capturing. And then you have control over the basic listing and then the enhanced listing. I think it's called Simple and then Spotlight are the two names. But it's just a simple listing and then an enhanced listing. And on the enhanced listing, you're going to be able to add additional information, including some HTML code for that person if you want to really enhance their listing. And of course, the more you enhance it, the more you're going to charge them for an enhanced listing, because you're basically building a website for them, even though it's not a full-blown website that you do in Pixel Perfect. It's just something that you're building inside of the directory. But again, before you can do that, you have to be able to prove that it's worth the money for them to spend to get the enhanced listing. So you're going to have to build it, work on getting it ranking, get people to see it, show proof that if they're going to spend $50 a month on an enhanced listing, that it's worth it. People are going to see their listing. So it is almost like a chicken, which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's going to be a challenge for you to figure out how to get it ranking, how to get it listed, how to get it seen, how to get it heard before you can go out and sell those enhanced listings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was just thinking that in a smaller town of 50 or 100,000 people or 30,000 people, there's got to be a place that someone could go that would have a listing of all registered businesses within that province or state or county.
Yeah. Like a chamber of commerce type thing, absolutely.
Yeah, and you just automatically target them.
Exactly. When we had our class on the directory, the agency group actually had a training on the directory. And I mentioned one of the things that I know that I would target in my area, and it's a little bit unconventional, but I would go for crafting shows and crafters in my area. I'm in the South, the state of Mississippi. So, and we're coming up to Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and Southern ladies love their craft shows. I'm telling you, that's like going to the Minneapolis Mall, the Mall of America, right? That's their Mall of America, is getting to go to the craft shows and see craft things that people make. And it's huge here. It is absolutely huge. These craft shows are huge. They're fun. They just have all kinds of neat stuff. So how cool would it be? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Davida.
Yes. Well, I spent 30 years in Atlanta, and it's like, okay, between April starts the Dogwood Festival, and it goes on, and you got people, and the same, it might be the same people, but they all come with their products. They all, and people pack it.
Yep.
Pack it. And you know, and it's like, well, there's got to be a way for them to be able to get a list of all of these places that they can go show in certain, because a lot of them go from one place to the other, just travel around.
That's right. So if you think about it in terms of a directory, I could actually pinpoint the craft shows and then pinpoint the vendors that are in each show. And then if I wanted to even make it even better, I could go to each of those vendors, because I have to have their information to be able to put it in, and I could give them some kind of plaque or thing that they could put in their booth that says featured in the blah blah directory, right? So, and then have like a QR code or something so that people could scan it and go right to that directory to see other vendors as well. So the reality is that to do that, that would be a lot of legwork to do it. But you can imagine that that might be something that's niched down enough that it might actually rank and work. Another really cool one that I was thinking about was Renaissance fairs. Any of you guys ever been to a Ren fair? Oh my gosh, that's like my happy place. I've only been to like 3 in my entire life, but I swear to you, I could live at a Ren fair. They're so fun, and there's just not enough of them. It's hard to find them unless you're in like a big city where it's really, you know, advertised. I'm sure like probably where you're at, Dominic, it's probably advertised really well. But here where I'm at in the deep South, I live in a little bitty town that's like 20,000. And we're kind of away from the big hustle and bustle of any big city except for like Memphis. And Memphis had a Ren fair, but it only ran for about 3 years, and then they stopped doing it because it was too much. And Memphis is just not really the type of area for a Ren fair. So how cool would it be to get maybe a national listing of Ren fairs, and then even niche it down to the vendors, right? So Ren fair, where they're at, who's putting it on, and then who are the vendors that are going to be at the Ren fair. So what an amazing thing. I mean, I love the vendors, and one of these days I'm going to get me a Diva outfit and go to a Ren fair. I mean, I don't even know what a Diva outfit looks like, but wouldn't it be cool to have a directory where I could find all the Ren fairs, find all the vendors, find out some of the things that I would love to get to be able to wear to go to a Ren fair, because you don't go without dressing up. And then actually go to some of these Ren fairs that I finally found because I have a directory of them. Another one is like Comic-Cons, right? Anybody been to a Comic-Con type thing? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm Marvel fan. I would so go to these two, and who knows what I would dress up as, but I would have an absolute blast. But again, that might be one that would be niched down enough. You may have to niche it down even more because there's so many cons. There's Comic-Con, there's, I don't know, Trek Con, there's blah blah con. I don't even know how many cons there are, but you might have to niche it down to a specific type of con. But again, the idea is think about where you can niche down. You definitely want to try to do something that you're interested in, or it's going to be boring. But you can see the potential in putting these directories together and then working on getting them ranked so that you can be seen, and then you can start working on advertising. I had a couple people that raised their hand. Let me get to Andre, and then I'll get to Dominic.
Hi, Shelley.
Hey.
Yeah. So about the directories and the one that you just mentioned, like what domain name would you attach to that directory?
Whatever you want, and be creative. And if anybody needs any creative help, I'm going to volunteer my husband. He is so flippin' creative at doing this kind of stuff. If you've ever heard of World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft is an online game where you play characters, and him and I both play. I haven't played in years now because I just don't have the time, but he still gets to play a little bit, not a lot. But there's I'll give you an example of one of the ideas he had for a character name, right? So one of the characters that you can create is called a Tauren. It's like a cow character, like a horns, and it looks like a bull type thing. So he named it Two Udders. TWOUTTERS, not DD. Two Utters, right? Two Utters was his character's name. I'm like, seriously? And all of his characters have clever names like that. He's just clever like that. So I'm volunteering his services. Just private message me. I'll throw it out to him. And we'll see what he comes up with. And if it's good, keep it. If it's not, if it's good, keep it. You can pay him. If it's not, disregard it and don't worry about it. But he's actually really creative with what he does. So as far as a domain name, it can be a main domain. It can be a subdomain. It's whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm. The reason I'm asking is for like keyword richness. Like I'm following this electric car trend, and I picked up PorscheElectric.ca.
Oh,
now,
wow.
.ca is Canada's .com, in case anybody doesn't really know. And I picked up, so PorscheElectric.ca, HondaElectric.ca, Fiat, Maserati, because they're coming out with one. Also, I have about 10 of them. So I want to do like the directories on electric cars with those keyword-rich domain names. So it's going to be Porsche Electric /Vancouver. So that's going to be for all the Vancouver dealers. Wow. And then you can do /Montreal, /Toronto, /Halifax, like that. And so it can be like a 1,000-page directory site, you know?
That's great. That is so great. And what you got is a huge, huge job. And I want to say this again, because I said at the beginning, you guys are probably going, Shelley, you've already said it to us. But it's a great idea. Everybody has ideas. The difference between you and everybody else is to take that idea and flesh it out and do it. Right? That's the difference. So I've sat in my office many times and gone, wow, that's a freaking great idea. But it will never happen if I don't do it. So great idea, Andre. Start fleshing it out, see if it's really something you want to chase after, and then take action and do it. Okay? Right.
And so like I'm thinking also of getting some dealers on with like a premium listing or a banner or whatever. And so I take it that I haven't seen the template yet, but I take it that it does have that capability.
It absolutely does. So you can have the big wide banners. You have the side banners. You have the bottom wide banner. So lots of opportunities to put advertising in there for yourself, or paid advertising for people to pay to put their advertising in. That's just another way to monetize your directory. And again, that's gonna be premium space if you're ranking and getting seen. So it's kind of that, which came first, the chicken or the egg?
But when someone types in
money, let me say, if you do you have to rank first to make money, or do you charge money so you can get ranked? It's kind of, so that's going to be the hard one for you guys to figure out. There's going to be a lot of work back and forth to be able to get people to pay. Then they're going to go, but Andre, you're not even ranking yet. People aren't looking. So then you're going to work to get ranked, and then you can go and then you can start adding and charging more for the advertising. So the likely case is you charge a very, very low amount, like $5 per month for these ads when you first start, to just get a little money in and be able to handle it while you're ranking. And then once you get ranking, you up it a little bit more and up it a little bit more and up it a little bit more. So there are ways to do it, but it will take a lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of work.
Right. Well, what I was thinking was like, why not just go with, complimentary listings, and all it is their business name, address, and phone number. That's all they get for free. And then you call them and say, oh, hey, I just entered you in PorscheElectric.ca, and I was just wondering if your information was correct.
Yes, that's exactly how this works. So you can there's the simple listing, and then there's the spotlight listing. So there's two different styles. And you can set it up so that if you want to, the simple listing could be free, and then the spotlight listing you can charge whatever you want for. And you can charge weekly, monthly, yearly. You can do it on a contract basis if you want to, so that when you're first starting out, you may contract them for only a year, knowing that by the end of that year, you're going to want to bump up the prices, because by then you will have done some great SEO stuff and you've been ranking and people are seeing you and more traffic, so you can charge more. So
Right.
again, planning, and really thinking it through.
Great.
Shelley,
And just,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. Just wanted to say ask one thing about the ranking, just about the ranking. So with the ranking, Shelley, okay, so wouldn't it just show up when someone types in Porsche and electric, like, and they're in Vancouver? No?
This is the beauty of the directory, is every single listing that you do, there's going to be URLs, and those URLs are going to be absolutely keyword rich. So you're going to have, in every step of creating that directory, I was going to say victory, when you create the victory, everything has a URL that's keyword rich based on whatever niche you're working in. So that's why these directories are so good, because they do pull to be able to rank. Just the hard part is right now there's so much in the major niches that you're going to want to focus on smaller niches to be able to rank well.
Right.
The SEO part of it is absolutely huge, and it looks on the surface, and again, it hasn't been released, we haven't been able to play with it a lot yet, but on the surface it looks like they've nailed the SEO part. So you're already going to go in with a lot of power, SEO based, to be able to help you get ranked.
And the fact that it is PorscheElectric.ca, it's an exact thing that is typed in if they're looking for an electric Porsche, yeah?
And then think about it. When you're building the directory, you're going to say, if you're doing it like throughout the entire world. So you start off with United States electric cars, and then you've got Mississippi electric cars, and you've got Batesville electric cars, and then you've got Porsche Batesville electric cars, and all of these are URL keyword rich. So all of it's hitting on the SEO.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Shelley, if I may say something just along the lines of what Andre was saying. I'm a big BMW motorcycle rider, and have ridden all around the world, basically. And it's a huge organization of BMW motorcycle owners that travel together, that do trips together, that network more than anything I've ever seen. Why couldn't I or someone do a directory for BMW motorcycles? North America, you could do North America, Central America, South America, Europe, Asia, etc., and then niche that down into the smaller markets. And I already know where to go to get all the people that are members, quote unquote, of those organizations.
Yeah, you absolutely
put them all
can.
into one, or put them into one directory, and then have that directory where somebody could say, okay, I'm just interested in my trip through Central America. Give me Central America BMW dealers, owners, hostels, people that will let you stay at their homes, that kind of stuff as a directory.
That's a fabulous idea. So then the next step in fleshing out that idea, that's a fabulous idea. So the next step is to flesh out, okay, if I build this directory, who's going to want to find it? And then how can I monetize it? So what ads can I put around it? So when people do look at the directory, what kind of ads need to be there that will entice them to buy? Are these places that will want to upgrade their listing for a fee? So all of those are the next things that you need to think about. So you got a great idea. Now it's time to really flesh it out and see, wait, how can I monetize it? Because at the end of the day, you're going to always be thinking, wow, that's a great idea, but can I make money off of it? Right? That's why we're doing it. I would love to say that I would love to put a directory together just for the heck of it, right? But it is going to be a lot of work. So if I put a directory together, I'm going to put my mind to how I can monetize it before I ever put my fingers to anything. Okay, because it's a big deal. That makes sense.
Could you not just charge the owners for the directory, like a newspaper?
Absolutely, you absolutely can.
Here's a subscription.
Yep. So the next thing is, would they be willing to pay that? And if they would, what do I need to do to encourage them to pay? Do I have to get the rankings up so I can show them that there's already people visiting the directory, so that they're going to get a bang for their buck, a return on their investment? So again, it's a fleshing out of that idea and really thinking through Who's going to be looking? Who do I think I can monetize with? How can I monetize? Can I put advertising on the sides and the banners at the top and the bottom, advertising what those people want to see? So they may want to see bicycle parks places and stuff like that. There's just a lot of things you need to really flesh out before you put your hands to that particular project. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Dominic, go ahead.
My question is more of a parking lot question. You want to continue with the, because I have.
Let's parking lot question. I'm cool with the parking lot question.
Okay, because I have no intentions of building any directory. That sounds like
That's a lot of work. Yeah.
I'm so busy right now with school and work. I wouldn't even attempt to think about a directory right now. Let alone try to build.
I agree. I agree. Yes.
Anyway, I was talking with Tyree in the chat, and we're kind of wondering. You had mentioned something about you had some 7-day worksheets to go along with like your 7-day trials. Did you ever get that done?
Yeah, I'm still working on it. I gave a tentative release date of November the 1st. So we are hoping that will be completely done and ready to go for everybody in Builderall by November the 1st.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. So keep your fingers crossed on that, because first run through, it's really looking good. Everybody's really liking it. And if we can get it company wide so that everybody can use it, then that's just another tool to get people using that 7-day free trial acclimated to Builderall, what you can do with it, so that then they can make a really good informed decision on whether they want to upgrade their plan or not. And that's the key, is we don't want anybody guessing. We don't want anybody during the 7-day free trial going, gee, should I pay that $69.90 or not? We want them going, oh my God, I've hit the mother load. $69.90 is like nothing to pay to be able to get in here and to be able to build the things that I can build with Builderall. That's what we want. And we want them to not only be solid with that decision, but also be very decisive that they're going to stay with Builderall because they see the value of it. So that's why we want to really do a good 7-day intro for those 7-day free trials. I think Tyree had a question, and then I'll go to Gabriel.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to everyone. Good to see everybody again. I had gotten a little sick and couldn't participate. Missed all of you. I do have a question. It's not related to the directory. Larry Bird over there giving me some advice. I see you, Larry. But it's not related to the directory, because eventually I will be diving into building a directory. So that discussion was very helpful to me.
Awesome.
And the question that Dominic had was also very helpful. So that answered that other question. It's a two-part question I have. I hope I'm within the context of what we're talking about. It's concerning that Builderall blog. Two-part question to it. Number one, in the settings department to where we can add keywords. The first part of my question is, how many keywords can we add in that section right there?
In the blog?
Yes, where it says add keywords in the SEO part. Where it says
I'm not sure what the limit is. I haven't tested the limit. So if I have time to pull the blog up, we'll check it. Okay.
Okay. And my other question is, I was interested in building a silo with adding those keywords in there. Could we build like a silo, like a parent page and then other pages to that using those keywords? But I guess you'll have to answer that when you see what I'm about the blog itself.
I'm not sure. Are you talking almost like a RSS feed?
A silo, like I have a keyword, then I have tags to that keyword, and then I have another keyword. Then I have related keywords to that, like tags, and I have like 3 different rows. Like if I want to use a keyword and then have like a parent page with a parent keyword and then related keywords to that.
No, I don't think so. I think that those are put together kind of so you can do the breadcrumb thing. So when you go to a certain page, it's got that breadcrumb to be able to go backwards. And we can't do that in Builderall. The way it's built, it's built a little bit differently than most blogs are. So I can't see that you'd be able to do that with our blog.
Okay, because I was thinking, I was wondering if we could build a silo within Builderall. So that answered my question. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our system is so awesome. Like
It is awesome, yeah. It's funny, sometimes people do get locked down on the stuff that you can't do, but I'm building the new training center, Builderall Training Center, and I'm using the blog to do that. And y'all, let me tell you, the things that you're going to be able to do to be able to access this training and to be able to search to find the exact training you want, that is in the blog that you have now. I'm not getting any special like developer type things to be able to do it. It's actually what you guys have. I'm using the same exact thing, and it is absolutely phenomenal what I'm able to do to be able to build a blog that's going to deliver your workshops and boot camps. So it's really cool.
That was a matter of fact, that's a third part question. I was speaking with David Long today, and he was saying that we may not have boot camps anymore. We may have workshops, and I wanted to know when are we going to have those, and then where do we go to access them?
So we've switched over to the name workshops. It's only a difference in name, not the difference in the idea of what we're doing, except that I'm going to work you harder. Since we're calling it a workshop, I'm just going to work you harder. But the reality is that Dave Sharp is coming in, and he wanted that boot camp type word because that's how he wants to brand what he's doing with Builderall. And I'm completely okay with that. Dave Sharp is great. What he's doing is great. He's going to do amazing things for our company. So we are okay with him using that boot camp and just skyrocketing everybody with what he's going to be able to give us as far as training. So we're going to change ours to workshop, and then that gives everybody the idea that when they come in, they're going to work. And don't I give you homework? Yes, I do. So I do make you work. And then we also understand that we're going to really dig in and put our hands into the areas that we're covering. And that kind of describes the stuff that we do as well. Boot camp to me was always kind of an iffy word because boot camps mean short, sweet, and to the point. And I'm never short, sweet, and to the point. I'm always like dragging it out, going, wait, you guys, I've got 3 more hours I can talk to you. So I think workshop is probably much better. It describes exactly what we're doing, like way better than the boot camp did. So it works out actually really well. And the workshops and the old boot camps will all go into the new Builderall Training Center, and it's delivering the training by using the blog. So really, really excited about it. And when I do go in and start to share my screen, I'll actually show you a preview of what it's looking like so far. And the release date on the training center is going to be November the 1st. And there you'll be able to access the links to get to any of the live trainings. You'll also be able to see any of the replays that are going on, and that will be your hub for all things training, not tutorials, but the deep dive and trainings into the tools of Builderall.
So is it fair to say that we are off until November the 1st when you release that?
We're not off because I'm actually doing a workshop now on digital products and how to sell digital products using Builderall. So we're actually doing that every day right now.
And that link is in the Builderall group, Builderall group to be accessed.
Yep, if you go to any of the Builderall groups and type in a search for Shelly Turner, you'll find that post, and in there is the Zoom link to be able to get in. And then also I'm going back to those posts and putting the links to the replays for the day. So you'll find everything in those posts, and those are just being migrated all into the training center. So by November the 1st, you won't have to do that anymore. We'll have it all integrated into the training center.
Okay, and it's still at the regular time. Is it still at the regular time that we were having 11 Central, 12 p.m. Eastern?
Yep.
Okay, thank you, because I had gotten sick and couldn't keep up. So I do thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah, we're just super glad to have you back, Tyree. We hate it when any of our people are sick, and so we're super glad that you're back.
Well, how is what Brad's doing going to fit into that? Because he's doing that 16-day. It's kind of like a training right now.
Yeah, and I haven't asked him yet, but I think at the end of it, I'm going to go ahead and put it as one of the replay areas inside of the training center. It's really good what he's doing. So if he'll let me, I'll add it to the training center because it is 16 days. So it's not really tutorials, it's a full training series. And that would be a good thing to add to that training center as a series to watch for training. So I haven't asked him yet, but I have Brad wrapped around my little finger. Nobody tell him that. Don't say I told him that. I told you guys that. But I'm pretty sure if I ask him, he'll say yes. I'd be really surprised if he wouldn't. So you guys keep your fingers crossed that he'll let us put that in there so that not only can you find it easily, but when you get new people in, you can say, hey, let me tell you a good training to start with, full 16 days of awesome training on motivation and perspective and perception and you know, motivation, because he's covering all of those in that 16-day training. Okay.
Yeah, well, he was saying that that was something that he was going to start with, and then he was looking at moving it into something else and doing it on a consistent basis.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see what he comes up with. He's a smart cookie. So definitely keep watching what he does, because he does some great stuff. All right, any other questions, you guys? Oh, Gabriel?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. The second question is shorter.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you use the WordPress site builder? I try to click on it and stuff, you know, but it's just telling me to put a domain. So I'm not ready to do that. Is there anything you can touch on it real quick on that? Or
that's just the first step, actually, is to put a domain in where you want to put your WordPress site. So you already have to be thinking ahead of where you want that to go. And I think right now, I'm not sure, but I don't think we have the ability to change that. We'd have to delete the site and re-add the site to change where it's at. But that's just the first step. WordPress. Have you used WordPress before, Gabriel?
I have WordPress. I have one WordPress site. I had a VA working on it, so I'm totally clueless about WordPress. So I'm trying to move that into the Builderall, but what do I do? I don't know anything about it.
Right. So you're kind of operating blind. WordPress, when you first start learning it, it's a big one to learn. And there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle, because what's the right theme to use? What are the right plugins to use? So really there's not going to be a whole lot of support on WordPress for users. It's kind of a use at your own risk, especially right now in Builderall. They've installed it, and it's really designed for the people that are saying, I'm not moving to Builderall because I have WordPress. I'm happy with WordPress. So it's really for those people that are happy with WordPress and they've resigned to the fact that they're not moving. Now we can say, come on over. We've got WordPress. So it's really designed for those people that are good at WordPress and they know what to do. It doesn't mean that you can't jump in and learn, but there's not going to be a lot of support on it, because it's really just put there to accommodate the people that aren't moving. So now we've given them a way to move, to be able to come in and use WordPress.
So what's the difference? I mean, I'm going to move it to Builderall, but that's I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. Why would I move it to Builderall if I'm already working on WordPress? And then I want to keep WordPress, but you see what I'm saying? I don't understand what's the difference. What's the advantage to move it into Builderall?
Oh my gosh. Imagine if you've got, like I've got GoDaddy with WordPress. Okay. So I've got sites that I have in WordPress, but guess what I don't have on GoDaddy? All the other tools that Builderall has.
Okay.
Right. So if you find someone that uses WordPress and they're on something like GoDaddy or One-in-One, Namecheap or something like that, you can.
Oh, it's just for hosting. It's just the hosting.
Just the hosting. That's right.
Oh,
you can still build. You can still build. You can go into WordPress and build on Builderall. But what we're doing is we're saying, hey guys, you know what? You don't have to do it on GoDaddy. You can move it over here and get all these other tools too.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
All right.
Yeah. So it's just an enhancement for anybody that has not really worked with WordPress before. It doesn't mean you can't go in there and work with it, but it's going to be a challenge, especially after using the Pixel Perfect, because the Pixel Perfect is like the bomb diggity easy. I know that sounds crazy because you have to spend a lot of time learning the Pixel Perfect, but the reality is that Pixel Perfect, being able to build a website, is so incredibly simple compared to all the things you have to do and know in WordPress. Yeah. So for the new user, Pixel Perfect is the way to go. But you you can try WordPress. Nobody's saying you can't. Where WordPress becomes valuable is when you're an affiliate with Builderall and you're saying, come on over. We've got WordPress now and 35 other tools.
Right.
So that's the draw. We're using it as an enhancement to get those 72 million people that are using WordPress.
Well, it's a hook. It's a
Hook. That's right.
There you go.
And think about it. I was doing the math the other day. I think Dominic might have seen it, and I think he commented on it. It was like, if we only get, it's literally 72 million people use WordPress. That's huge. And if we get 1%, and then we take that 1%, multiply it times 69.90, and then we get that, it was $50 million, wasn't it, Dominic?
Yeah, and then you and I on the beach. I remember the whole story.
My ties, that's right.
Yeah.
So
You already spent the money. I can see.
I've already spent the money. That's exactly right. So if we only get 1% of those 72 million, we are $50 million to the good, right? So that is huge. It is absolutely huge. And the attraction is going to be, come on over. We've got WordPress and all these other tools. So it is a big deal for the experienced user that's already using WordPress.
Oh, I'm so glad you answered that question, because now I get, that's a hook. I'm gonna use that. It's just a door opener all the way.
Exactly.
Like,
now remember, if you do promote it, always put Pixel Perfect and Canvas first, and say Builderall has the amazing Canvas and the amazing Pixel Perfect, and we also have WordPress hosting too, right? So that's an aside note, because you don't want WordPress to look bigger than our Canvas and Pixel Perfect. Because honest to Pete, if we can get 72 million people to see that we've got WordPress, and we bring over 1% of them, out of those 1% that come over, if we can convert a huge percentage of them to Pixel Perfect, then Pixel Perfect, as far as a brand, and Canvas as a brand, you're going to start to see that rise. So then you're going to start to see WordPress as a platform to build, and then all of a sudden you're seeing Pixel Perfect as a platform to build, right? It will start to become almost like a generic word like WordPress has. So we need to always give Canvas and Pixel Perfect the highlight, but then say, oh, by the way, we have WordPress too.
Right.
So we can attract those 72 million people over.
Here comes my first question, actually, because that was my second question.
Okay.
So my first question is on the back to the directory. I'm trying to comprehend this, and I'm already start thinking that way, you know, but I know I need more and more training here. So I'm trying to make a few more steps going forward. Obviously, the directory I have to build. So I have to talk to all the vendors here, etc., and give them the reason why they want to join my directory. So that's a big job right there, right?
Yep.
However, I need to get my, how do you, you just touched on it. How do you have prospects to find you? I have to build a network. I have some kind of a network already of investors. I'm trying to get more homeowners or for sales or buyers in there, and just say, hey, buyers, do you need some contractors to work on your property because you're selling? Here, you can get a discount, blah, 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 right? You have a house for sale. I have the right people over here in my network. Join that, you know, homework, you know, same thing with the investors. Investors, they need realtors, mortgage brokers, attorney, all kinds of, you know, trades on the directory, right? So working with investors, it's a given, right? Because they're always looking for good people to network with. So it's already built. My question is, how do you build this? How do I have to do the same thing, just one by one, just, you know, or is there a way that you can share with us, right? And get a little bit of a head start here. Makes sense? I also know that I'm going to put my own ads and sell products on these pages and here. I know that. I can monetize on that. But how do I build this side, I guess? Make sense?
So there's so many pieces to this puzzle, and I think my internet went out, so I'll let my internet get back to. There we go. Am I back, you guys? Am I back?
You are.
Okay, good. So there's so many pieces to this puzzle, and it is a complicated puzzle. It's like one of those puzzles where you're like, where the crap does this piece go? Because everything on this puzzle is the same color as this piece. So it's really difficult. But there's so many different ways, inventive ways, and honest to Pete, to be successful at the directory, you're going to have to think out of the box. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to have to think out of the box. And the best person, in my opinion, to help you think out of the box is Eric Salgado. And I'm sure he's going to be doing some training, because this is his specialty. But in our exposure in the agency program, some of the things that he did, and this was before the internet was so big and directories were so big and there's so much competition, but it makes sense that you can still do it this way. And that is, before he really put these directories together, but before they got big, to get that traffic in there to start making the directories big, he actually created like magazines, that like physical magazines that were directing people to the directory. So one of the directories that he built was a directory on inexpensive places to have fun with your family on the weekends in Orlando. That is like super niche down, right? So what he did was he created a slick magazine, real thin, not 500 pages, but a magazine. And the magazine had all of the things that he put into the directory. And then, of course, everything that you had in there linked back to that directory. So then he distributed these magazines all over Orlando. So he had them printed, had a lot of them printed, distributed them all over Orlando. And that's what prompted people, oh, okay, well, there's a place that I can go to find more about these places that I can go with my family that don't cost a lot of money in Orlando. So that was his idea on how to promote it. So those are the kinds of things that you have to think about, just like with the crafter thing. Remember, we talked about the craft shows, and I said maybe print something out, some kind of certificate or something, have something made that can stand up to the test of time. It's not just a piece of paper that they can throw away, to put up into their vendor booth that says proud member of the blah-de-blah directory or something like that. And then say something like, if we see your thing in your booth in the show, we're going to give you a free listing or something like that. So you're encouraging them to put that up there. The people that come to the show see it, they can either scan it or something like that, and they're sent to the directory. So the whole idea is have this spider web of stuff going on to be able to work on building your directory, work on getting traffic to your directory, and then work on the people that will want to upgrade their listings or advertise in your directory. And I don't think there's any one thing that you can do independently of any of the others. It has to be kind of all done together as a process.
Yeah, I
right.
see. Yeah, it's a huge project. I mean, I look forward to it, obviously, but it's you just have to know where you're coming and where you're going, and kind of what you want to hit, along the way.
Yeah, like I said before, I think the biggest piece to this puzzle is the ideas are great, but where it comes down to is sitting down and really planning it out. How are you going to monetize this? And where that comes from is diving into that directory, looking at other directories, going to whatever trainings you can get to on directories, finding keywords that are the long tail keywords that are not searched, that are not that over searched, right? So you can rank. So there's a lot of work that's going to go into it. And you may flesh out an idea and then look at it and go, I just can't see how I can monetize this in the way that I want to. So that one's going to be on the burner. I'm going to go to another one and flesh that one out. So it'll be a lot of, and honestly, I think there may even be some of you guys that you flesh out, you think about it, you plan it, you think, oh my God, this is going to be great. And then you start putting your hands to the actual project, and somewhere in the process, you're like, I don't see it. I can't see it. So you pull back and you try another direction. I think Eric will tell you there's probably a lot of stuff he did on directories that didn't work. I'm sure that he didn't hit the golden directory, the first one he made. So it will be a lot of work, a lot of thought. But the good thing is, Builderall, the community's there. So as people are working in the directories and they're experiencing success and they're doing things and sharing things, you're going to be able to learn and continue to grow. And I think that's probably the best thing about our Builderall community is, even though we don't even have the directory yet, we're still getting training and getting strategy and getting ideas. So you can imagine when the directory hits, it's just going to be a lot of great stuff. If you stay tapped in, a lot of great stuff to help you to build those directories.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Shelly. You're great.
You're so welcome. Tyree, go ahead.
It was one other question that I wanted to ask. With Pixel Perfect, the Pixel Perfect blog web, do we have the ability to create a sitemap in there? Because I know on that, I think it's the Legend blog, or what the blog that I was using before we had Pixel Perfect, it had where you can create a sitemap. And I want to know if we can do that in Pixel Perfect.
We can.
Because I'm beginning to find out just how awesome, and I'm not playing. I'm beginning to find out just how above the level we are with Builderall versus anything that's on the market. So a lot of things that I like to do or want to do, I'm finding that it's already in Builderall. The more I use Builderall, the more I'm discovering how much more is in there.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example of one of those that I had, Tyree. You know, I already knew that Builderall was big, and I went to a training early on. And one of the things that I like to do is A/B split testing. And I was really frustrated that Builderall didn't have A/B split testing. And so I just kind of tucked that in the back of my brain. It was like, well, I can't do that. And then went to one of the certified partner trainings. And I remember Eric saying, okay, today we're going to do A/B split testing. And I'm like, wait, what? We have A/B split testing? And it's in one of those hidden, oh my gosh, teeny tiny little bitty icons that, you know, anybody with normal eyesight can't even see. And I'm 53 years old, so I don't have normal eyesight. So it was just hiding there. So you just like, whoop, and there's A/B split testing right there, and you can A/B split test. There's a ton of stuff like that in Builderall where it's hiding in plain sight. But when you're 53 years old and bad eyesight, you just can't see it until somebody tells you it's there. But yes, we do have sitemap, and when I open up and share in just a second, I'll if I remember, I'll show you exactly where it's at. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So, any other questions? Let's hold off. I'm going to show you styles. The great thing about styles is it won't take me long to show you. I promise I won't take another hour to just teach you how to work with styles in the Pixel Perfect Builder. But the cool thing is, once you understand styles, I think you're going to be like, you have saved my life. I love you, Shelly. This is the best thing ever. So let's go ahead and take a look at styles in the Pixel Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And I have cha-chinged a few times. So you see there, guys, I'm cha-chinging. That's so cool. So I'm going to find the Pixel Perfect Builder, and I'm going to enter that. And we'll open up a brand new site to kind of play with it a little bit and see what we can do. And it's taking just a minute because my poor computer is working very, very hard. But all styles are a preset configuration for an element. So it's like a preset configuration for a button, a preset configuration for a box. Lots of elements have these preset configurations called styles. So I'm going to create a new site. And on that new site, I'm just going to click a blank page so you can see everything I'm doing. So this is the, you know, all of these say blank page, but they're lying to you. The only one that's actually a blank page is this one right here that says in big letters, blank page. So I'm going to click edit. And then always when I do any website, the very first thing that I do is click save because save is my friend. And I want to make sure that everything is saved as I go. So we're going to call this Shelly1 and then send. And then save. So now I've actually saved this for posterity's sake. It is completely blank right now. It has no value, but at least it's saved. So now I'm going to go in and talk about styles. And when we talk about styles, I'm going to click the plus button. And we can have styles for banners. We can have styles for boxes and lines, for buttons, for, I think we can do styles for images. I'm not sure. So let's look at what a style is. So I'm going to go with boxes. That's probably a good one to start with. So I'm going to click on boxes, and I'm going to click this really pretty blue box because my favorite color is blue. So there's a blue box. Now I have the control of changing the way this box looks to almost anything I want it to be. So I can right click it and I can go to appearance. And right here, I've got a lot of power in this in these little things right here, the colors, the border, the rounded borders, the shadow. Also, there's some different styles here, so I can change the design to like a call out box. I can do another type of call out box. I can do this type of call out box. You can see there's many different styles that I can choose from here on the top. I can choose one that's got kind of a shadow. This is a really neat one to put behind a video so that it gives it a look like it's a curved TV. So if you've got a video, you can put a video on top of this box and it will look like it has kind of a curved TV look. So that's a neat one. Lots of neat styles here that I can choose from. But I'm just going to go all the way back to the very beginning and choose just a plain old ordinary box like this. So no special things around the box, nothing terribly special there. We'll make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it real well. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to appearance and I'm going to change the color and I'll change the color to a purple because I've got Mardi Gras in my mind. And then I'm going to go to a border and we'll make the border, let's say 4 pixels wide, solid, and we'll make it a really wacky color. How about green, maybe a dark green, maybe a yellow. That way we can see it real well. And then rounded borders, I absolutely love rounded borders. I'm going to go 50, 50, 50, 50. So I've got a rounded border now. And then I can actually do a shadow. So I'm going to enable a shadow, and that kind of gives my box a little bit of depth. So it jumps out of the screen a little bit. So now I've designed this box, and this is a flippin' cool box. I really like this box. So I may want to use this box again. So to use it again, I can Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Okay. So now I've got 2 of exactly the same box. They look exactly the same. They're configured exactly the same. But what happens if I now want this one to be purple on the inside, but I want this next one to be blue? Okay, so I do want to change only one thing about that box. So let's go in and see what happens if I do that. So I'm going to move these over here so you can see them real well. And I'm going to go to right click this one and appearance. So there's my menu. And I want you to notice what happens. If I go to colors, and then I change the background color to blue. Now I've only clicked on this one. So I changed the color to blue because that's my favorite color. And wait, what happened? That changed the other one too. It's because both of these have the same exact style. So if I want them to be different, I have to have this one to have a style and the second one to have a different style. Okay. So I'm going to make this one, well, I'll make this first one different. So I'm going to right click it and go to appearance. And now I'm in this area where I can change the colors, but I'm going to click this magical return button. So I'm going to return. Here is all of my box styles. So now I can choose a box style that already exists, or I can copy this one. So I'm just going to copy it with this little duplicate button. I'm going to copy it. Notice that it's still got the check mark on the old style. I'm going to check mark this new style. So now what's happening is this box right here has box underscore custom underscore 5 style. This box has box underscore custom underscore 6 style. So they're different styles. So now I can go into this number 6 and click the little gear button. So I'm going to click edit style. And now I can change the style, including changing the colors, and it's not going to change this box because they are different styles. Now I'm going to take a look at your eyeballs because I want you to notice that when you create a website that's got 50 pages, okay, you created a huge website and you've got a box that is a certain style that's on every single page, and you change one page. And you're thinking, I'm going to change the color on this page because I want it to be blue on this page. Guess what you just did? You changed it on every single page. Okay? I see so many users that it's like, I just did this one thing and it changed everything. It's because of the styles. Okay? So when you're working with anything that has appearance on it, so you can change the appearance, it has a style. Okay, so if you want it to be a different style than other things that you have on your website, you're going to have to click that return button and go back and create a new style for that item so you don't change everything else with that same style. So I'm going to show you another example just so you can see, because I definitely want to solidify it in your mind. So from here, I'm going to go to plus, and I'm going to choose buttons. And I'm going to choose, oh, let's say this. Oh, this is a good one right here. This one, the red button right here. This is an awesome button. Okay, we'll make it big so you can see it real well. So I'm going to create a second button that's that same exact style. I'm just copying and pasting, right? So it's the same exact thing. And this works exactly like these boxes do. Both of these buttons are the same exact style. So if I change this one, it's going to change the way this one looks. Okay, and this is so common. This usually happens in buttons where people are creating buttons and they don't understand why if they change this button, it changed every single button in their website. So all I do is right click this one and go to appearance. Anything that has appearance is associated with a style, right? So I'm going to click return. Here's all of my different styles. So I can choose a style that exists already, or I can create a brand new style, or I can just copy the one that I'm working with right now. That's the most common way, is to just copy the one that you're working with. So if you only want to change one thing, it'll have everything the same, and you just change that one thing. So I'm going to copy this button. Now, remember that right now, this box is still this style because that's the one that's checkmarked. So if I want it to be the new style, I have to click right on it so I get that check mark on it. So I'm telling it specifically, I don't want it to be number 5. I want it to be number 6. Okay? And then I can go into this little gear and edit. And now I can change anything on here, and it will not affect the second button. So I can go in here and change the fonts. Let's do that. We'll change it to a bigger font. So there we go. Oh my gosh, look at it getting bigger. And the other one's not. And now I can change it to bold. And I can do, oh my gosh, let's see what else we can do. The inner background. We can put an image in there. We can change the border style. Let's change the border to blue because blue is my favorite color. So now you can see that I can change this first button because it's a different style from the second button. So that's the idea behind styles. And I promise you, this one little thing, if you're building a big website, is going to make the difference between you being a happy website builder or pulling out your hair. So hopefully that will help you guys a lot. Do you guys have any questions about that at all?
Thank you. Thank you for showing me this. I had problems. I built two websites so far. I've been here for 3 months. But I tell you, I did the copy. In fact, if you right click, you get also duplicate. You can do duplicate.
Yep.
If you don't do the copy and paste. I had so much hard time trying, like, what am I going to do? So I at the end, I created a different one for each button. But thanks for showing us the copy one.
You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. And hopefully this will prevent you guys from, changing something on one page and it changes like everything, because that one thing will drive you absolutely nuts.
Exactly.
I've seen that happen with pictures too.
Yes, absolutely. Again, anything that you right click and you go to appearance means there's a style associated with it. So you want to make absolutely sure you remember that, because if anything else uses the style that you're editing, it's going to change that style. It's going to change that item too. So it's all about the appearance, and that means there's a style associated with it. So if you want it to look different than the other thing that you made, then you're going to have to change the style. Okay? Jean-Pierre.
Well, it's also good to show the other copy. When you make on the element with the mouse right and down, you have also copy symbol.
Yes.
And you go on.
Yes. There's many ways you can do this, you guys. So to copy, you can Control-C, Control-V. Copy is Control-C, paste is Control-V. You can also right-click and you can go to duplicate right here. So you can duplicate the element. And anytime you make an exact copy, whether you're Control-C, Control-V, or you're duplicating, it's going to give it inherently the same style. A way to get a different style is I can just create a whole new box. So let's take a look. Let me show you real quick. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to appearance. I'm going to go to style. Right now I've got box 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I've got style 5 and 6 as well. Okay. And you can see if I hover over them, it shows me what those styles actually look like. So I've got 6 styles on boxes right now. If I go to plus, and then I go to box, and I create a brand new box from the very beginning. So I'm going to click this one right here. This is a brand new box from the very beginning. Let's take a look at what style this is. So I'm going to go to appearance and then return, and I now have a new style, which is number 7. So every time you go into that plus area and then go into the element and create a new element from scratch, it's going to create a new style right here. My suggestion to you is try to keep this as limited as possible, because when the website loads, it's loading all of the styles. So if you have extra styles, it's just going to cause it to have to take some extra load time. I've had websites that before I learned how to trim down on the styles, I'd have scroll, like pages and pages of styles, because I created 52 million boxes, who knows why, and every one of them have a different style. So what you can do is really think ahead when you're building websites, and if you're doing boxes, have a specific style that's transparent. And I do want you to know that you can actually add a style. One of the things that I use consistently in all my websites is an empty box, because that's a way to organize things. So I can click add style, and I'm going to call this empty, or let's do it, transparent box. Confirm. And now when I configure this box, I'm going to just make it transparent. And then every time I need a transparent box, I'm going to choose this one, because instead of making a new style, because this one exists, it's there, it's good to go, and I can use it without having to make 52 transparent boxes, meaning a brand new box every time I'm trying to make a transparent box. Again, this will save you on load time, because it doesn't have to load all of the different styles for the boxes for the website. So I always have a transparent box style so that I can grab it and start to be able to organize my elements by putting them inside the transparent box and creating like a grouping effect. Okay, so that's another neat thing you can do, is limit those styles to just what you really need and delete the ones that you don't need. Okay, anybody have any questions? All right, let's take a look at a couple of things. Tyree was asking about a sitemap, so let me see if I can find that real quick. That was on right there. So I'm going to click the double gears, and that takes you to the settings of your entire website. So everything you do here affects your entire website. And then from here, you can click sitemap, and you can set up your sitemap for Builderall. So that's where you go in to do the sitemap, and then you just click create sitemap. And there's the link to be able to go to the sitemap. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to actually copy it. And then we're going to take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to paste. And it's not published, so it's not going to show it to me. But the sitemap is a lot like an RSS feed. It has all the information that you need for that site to create the map, for Google to create a map for you of your site. Okay, so let me stop sharing and make sure that's what Tyree wanted. Is that good, Tyree? Okay, I see you doing the Tyree, so we're good. And then the next thing was the blog and how many keywords. So let me go in real quick and we'll add a blog here. I'm going to show you how fast it is to add a blog. So I'm going to go right here to this little newspaper thing, and I'm going to click it. And then I'm going to click, boop, add a blog. And it says, where do you want to put it? I'm going to put it in the default layout, because that's the only one I have. And I'm going to click save. And what it's doing is in the background, it's creating all my blog pages for me. It's giving me a few sample entries. It's doing a lot of setup for me. And it's creating this blog. And right after you create a blog, you need to always go in and click save, and then save again, or else it's not going to let you do a whole lot, because anytime you create new pages, if you try to do anything with those pages, the system's going to go, nope, you just created a new page. I need you to save it first. So just don't wait for the computer to tell you. Just click save. Save is your friend anyway. So then we can go in and actually manage our blog. So I'm going to go to the blog manager, and here are our individual entries right here. And for each one, we have the ability to edit the entry, to call it a favorite, and then we've got this thing called code. If I click the code, I think that's where Tyree was talking about the keywords right here. And if you click this little question mark, it says enter the keyword that address the main theme of your article. So we're just going to put in some keywords. So test, Test again, tester, testy, test, test. And now what I'm going to do is just copy it and I'm going to paste. So, comma, dump, 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 dump. So I've copied and pasted that I don't know how many times, and it's still not giving me anything saying that. So I'm not entirely sure what the limit is. Dun, 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 dun. That's a lot. So I copied it. Let me double click it. I'll go to the Word, the Notepad. So that's how many it let me add without giving me any error or any problem. So all I can say is I'm not sure that there's a limit. So hopefully that helps. Okay.
I did have another question, Shelley.
Okay.
I didn't when I saw it. First of all, when you added that blog there, would those blog pages be in a thread, or would they have their own separate like link to that? Like Tyree Thomas Jr.
You're going to have both. Yeah, you're going to have both. You're going to have the page that has the news feed where it shows all of your blog entries in the order of whatever you want it to be. So if you want it the newest first or the oldest first or whatever, you can set how they're organized. So that's the feed that shows your blog entries. But then each blog entry will have its own page.
Okay. Okay. So
but here's the interesting thing about each blog entry having its own page. You would think that if a blog has 100 entries, that would mean that blog has 100 pages. But that's not the truth with the Builderall blog, because Builderall has done a really neat way of organizing the blog. So what it's done is it's created a template page. Okay, so your blog entry has a template page, and then each blog entry has like an ID with it. So what it does is it pulls up the template page and then gets the ID of that blog entry and then applies the entry to the template page. So we don't have 100 pages. It's actually just one page pulling in that blog entry. So it's not a mama hoony, oh my God, huge site. It's actually loads fast, it's lickety split, yakety schmackety, and it's very organized and pulling that page. But you also have the ability to give each blog entry its own name, so it looks like it has its own page.
So instead of just going using that the blog site, because we have website and blog site, I can use that website and just add a blog and have the same thing. Mm-hmm. And without just having to go to the blog site. Because see, I went to the Express blog, the section Express blog, and I pulled up a blog site that I like. And that when I went into the settings, that's where I saw there was a different settings than what you had than what you just added for keywords. Yeah. There was a different type of settings that where you can add keywords.
Right. I think that probably was the old blog. So I would say if you want that type of design it yourself, but pull in the new blog. And that way you've got more control over the blog with this new design blog. I think we just got the newly designed blog maybe about 3 months ago. And it is better. It's easier to configure. You've got a lot more capability as far as keywords and meta tags and all those kinds of things that are going to help you on SEO.
Yes, because I like that new design blog because naturally a blogger, so that when Builderall had the option for a website or blog site, I chose blog site because that's what I would be able to use. But now you just showed me where I can have a website and just add a blog to it and still get the same function.
That's it. That's exactly it. Yep.
So I might now go to the website because now, again, you showed me some more tricks and treats that I can have fun with.
Hey, we like that. I'm glad.
If I had a toupee, you would have just blown it into the parking lot.
Well, we'll just say that we blew your socks off. How's that sound? All right, let me show you another thing I promised that I'd show you, and that is the Builderall Training Center. So let me go to my sites, and we'll go to the Training Center link. Right now, it's not under Builderall Training Center. It's just under the slug that Builderall gave it when I first built it, because I haven't connected the domain yet. So we'll just look at what it looks like right now. And again, we're using the blog. So I want everybody to look at this really closely because I'm using the blog to deliver training. I want you to really understand the gravity of this. It's huge. So I've clicked to go to the live site, and this will change. This is in the very beginning, right? We're going to make it really pretty for you, hopefully. But right here, we've got the workshops. So I've got the schedule. So if I click the schedule, it takes me to a page similar to what we had in the boot camps, right? So it has the actual class that's going on, and then the Zoom link to be able to go live, and then the replay link to be able to access the replays. Or you can go to workshops and go to replays. So I'm going to click replay, and I have many of the boot camps, the previous boot camps, already in there. So I've got the chat bot in there, the email marketing in there, the Fiverr gigs in there. So you just click this and it will take you to the blog entry. This is just a blog entry as if you'd written a blog article, but I used it as a way to deliver the course. So I've got a little paragraph that tells you about it, and then day 1 and the homework for that day, then day 2 and the homework for that day, and day 3 and the homework for that day, and day 4 and the homework for that day, along with any resources, day 5, right? So everything's in there. It's just delivered in blog format. Plus the other really cool thing, this is what I'm loving about it, is now I can search. So if I go up here to search, and let's say that I want to see if there's any workshops or boot camps on email. So all I do is type in email, and then I hit search. What it's going to do is go through the blog entries. It's going to search for the word email, and boom, it pulls up one of the boot camps that we did on email marketing. So let's say I want to do another one on organic, because I'm looking at how to advertise organically. So I'm going to type in the word organic, and then I'm going to do search. And it's going to find the courses that actually have the word organic in them. So there it is. It pulls up 2 of them, how to advertise organically with YouTube and how to advertise organically with Facebook. Then also on the sidebar right here, we can show off some of our feature courses and then some of the recent courses that we did. So you can see there's a lot of power in this, and it's just a blog, you guys. It's just a blog that normally people would use just to write articles once a week or once a month or once a day, whatever. But we can actually use it in a different way, and that is to actually deliver training that we've done and courses that we've done. So it's to me, it's a little bit of an outside of the box way to use the blog. Okay? Cool beans? Tyree's like, what the crap, Shelly? I can't believe it.
And this is so amazing. We can also, I mean, you can, if you really wanted to, you can index each one of those blogs.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So you can index
man,
the
so
whole
that
entire
means all
site.
that Webmaster Tool training gonna finally come in handy for me. Oh,
That's right.
I'm gonna be from now on. I'm just gonna have some oxygen next to me because you keep taking my breath away. Wow.
Yay, that's the way we like it. I love it. I've been missing you, Tyree. I've been missing you a lot, dude. Nobody else does the Tyree like Tyree does, right? All right, you guys, any other questions that you have, any comments, anything like that? We'll open up the floor. Will, go ahead. Will, it's great to see you. I've been missing you too. If you're talking, I can't hear you. I think that maybe the microphone might be on mute or there's an issue with the microphone.
Can you hear me now?
I can, yes.
All right. I've been a little sick and doing a lot of other things. And all right, with the WordPress, I'm good with WordPress also.
Good.
If I wanted to change over WordPress, just switch it over like normal, so it won't tear down the site. It's just gonna transfer it over.
What you have to do is you'd have to rebuild it in WordPress, of course, because we don't have a way to transfer your site from the Pixel Perfect to WordPress, or vice versa from WordPress to Pixel Perfect. So you'd have to rebuild for sure. But if you're bringing a WordPress site over from a different WordPress hosting, I think you can just back it up and then bring it over and restore a backup. I haven't tried that yet, so don't kill me if I'm wrong. But that's one of the things that's on my list to test if we can actually do it. So I think we can restore from backups. And then, of course, if you've got a site in Pixel Perfect and you want it in WordPress, you're going to have to rebuild it in WordPress.
Okay. And on WordPress, the closest thing they have to Pixel Perfect is Thrive.
Yeah, the Thrive themes are fabulous. There's also a thing you can get called Divi, which is fabulous to be able to build sites with WordPress. It makes it easier for the novice. There's also another one that's fabulous called Instapages. I've used that in the past. It's very, very easy to use to build a website. So any of those are going to make the building of a website on WordPress to go easier. If I had my druthers, I would really push you towards Instapages because it's the easiest one to use out of all of them. And I think Instapages is something like $69 a year or something like that. And you get a key, you put it in there, and it activates, and then you can start building. Very easy to use. They've got templates, or you can build from scratch. So that's one I've used in the past to help make it easier and quicker to build quick pages. But it is not as functional as Pixel Perfect. It's just a quick and easy way to build a basic, a block website.
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty.
It's good to see you. You just take care of yourself well, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Sure. Questions, Gerald?
I feel like the kid in the back of the class with his head down, not paying attention. I'm working. It's a WordPress question. I have a feeling he just asked it because I came in right at the end. You buy PLRs like me. I know you do.
Yep.
Some of them come with pre-made websites for WordPress, and I guess they call them themes.
Yes.
Now, I have 2 domains hooked up in Builderall. So if I go into that WordPress part of Builderall and it says, do you have a domain? Do I use one of the ones that I have connected to Builderall, and do I just create a subdomain?
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got your domain connected already, then it's actually really easy just to put a subdomain on it. Or if you've got a domain connected and you want to switch it from your Pixel Perfect site to your WordPress, you just disconnect it from the Pixel Perfect, and then you can connect it to WordPress.
Oh, so if I have it connected in Builderall, I would have to for the Pixel. I got to disconnect it. I can't have it in both.
Right. Yeah. If it's the main. I mean, if it's the same main domain. I mean, obviously, I can't have a Pixel Perfect website that's ShellyTurner.com and also have a WordPress website that's ShellyTurner.com. So I have to disconnect one of them so it can stay connected to the one I want to use. But you also have the ability to create unlimited subdomains. So I could have a Pixel Perfect that's ShellyTurner.com and then a WordPress that's blog.ShellyTurner.com.
Okay, so I would, if I wanted to do, okay, that's kind of what you just said is what I would want to do then. So if I have, say, jerrysmarketing.com under Builderall, and I go and log into the WordPress, what would I do with that? Would I just do like Jerry's something under Jerry's something? I'm not sure what to do.
That's kind of sort of yes. It would be, you would identify the subdomain. So if you're using WordPress to build a blog, you would put maybe blog and then the main domain, jerryswebsite.com. So blog, so the end result would be blog.jerryswebsite.com. That would be the subdomain.
Okay, but the Jerry website, the jerryswebsite.com would still be the same one that's connected to Builderall though?
Yes, but it would be different because the main domain, jerryswebsite.com, would be connected to the Pixel Perfect website, and then the blog.jerryswebsite.com would be connected to the WordPress.
Would be all the WordPress. Now, would I have to do that with each site that I build under Builderall then?
Yeah.
If I bring a bunch of them in from WordPress, I just do.
You have unlimited subdomains.
So, okay, because you know how hard it is to find any tutorials on that right now. They're all in another language. They're all in German or
Italian. I think it'd be faster to learn the new language than it would to find one that's actually decent.
Well, not that, but it's taken me 10 years to learn German, and I haven't done that yet.
Well, I have been learning Portuguese, but they've been teaching me all the dirty words first, so none of it's appropriate for actually teaching or being able to talk to anybody.
Do they plan on having it? Do they plan on having any of their own tutorials for the WordPress stuff soon, or are they just going to let it go?
I doubt it. I do have the capability of doing some kick butt training on WordPress, but the reality is that they've only really put WordPress in to accommodate those people that are already using WordPress.
Get people in.
Yeah, is a way to get them in.
Right.
But I doubt that they'll want to
Okay.
really take time out of our training schedule to not do some of the other stuff that's specifically to Builderall, like the Pixel Perfect, like Canvas,
Right.
the new Pixel Perfect, like the Directory. All of those should take precedence over WordPress.
So it's like a lead magnet for a funnel.
Yeah. So
Get them in with the WordPress.
another thing that you guys see an open door in, I want everybody to look at the open door right now, which is if we're not doing training on WordPress on how to use it on Builderall, if you're good at it, for heaven's sakes, get some training together. Right, Well?
Okay, that's what I was wondering. That's what I was wondering about too. Is if there was anything that, say, I did figure it out, if I just did some videos to kind of help newbies like me, because I never got into the WordPress once I signed up for it, and never got into it once I discovered Builderall, because I didn't even want to go down that path of WordPress.
Now, WordPress will want to make you kick your dog, and I never want to kick my dog, but I've worked with WordPress, and I'm telling you, it will drive you nuts if you want to get it. It's like I want to.
That's what I heard.
I just want to get this one thing right here. That's why I want it to be on the screen right here. And you can't do it unless.
And then one thing messes it all up.
Yeah, you have to have the right theme and the right plugins. And then I had one WordPress site that was hacked by somebody. I don't know who it was, but they were saying they were ISIS from Russia or something like that. And they're like, we have all your information and we're going to take it and we're going to steal it. And all it was they were redirecting the main page. So it didn't take much to fix, but it's not that secure. Builderall's is going to be secure. They put the stuff in place, but the hosting I was using was not. So they hacked it pretty quickly. I was able to change it pretty quickly. I've had those other situations where I've had plugins, and silly me, this is something you should never do. I was going to upgrade, and I thought, okay, Shelly, you need a back of everything before you upgrade, just in case. I'm like, no, it's just one plugin. It's okay. So I upgraded, broke everything. Couldn't get in. Oh my God. Yeah. So the fact that Builderall is hosting it, they've got security in place. It's such a comforting feeling that they've got a lot of control over it, so that that you can do the things that you need to do to build and grow and all that kind of stuff. But it's still WordPress. So if you're a newbie to WordPress, get ready to kick your dog. That's all I can say.
It's pretty genius on their part, because I think once these people start diving into the tools that Builderall has, they're going to be like, you know what? I can just start building this in Pixel Perfect and make it 1,000 times better.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely
all right. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments, guys? All righty. Well, we have spent almost 2 hours together. Wow, I'm impressed. You guys want me to go another 18 minutes to make it an official 2 hours? I'm just kidding. Gabriel's like, yes.
No. I gotta get up early in the morning because I gotta go run to the dentist.
All right, I'll let you guys get your beauty sleep. I need my beauty sleep too. But I do appreciate you guys all coming. You're fabulous as usual. I love being here on Tuesday nights and teaching you guys. It's always fun. You always have great questions. And remember, next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Also, if you haven't gotten into the How to Sell Digital Products workshop yet, we're continuing tomorrow. It's the third day. The replays, I'm going to put the replay up from today right after I get off with you guys. So you can see the replays for 1 and 2 if you want to, but it won't hurt you to jump in now on Wednesday and catch up with what we're doing. None of it's terribly hard, but I promise you day 1 and day 2 are gonna blow your mind. I gave some really valuable information, and I'm sure you can take so much of it, and with a little bit of out of the box thinking, you're gonna create some really great stuff. So check it out if you get a chance. If you don't, the replays will be up in the training center by November the 1st. So it will be available for everybody to watch on demand. Okay?
Where are they now?
There, if you go into the Facebook groups, the Builderall English and the Builderall Business, if you just do a search for Shelly, let me show you guys how to do that, because some people don't know how to search Facebook groups. So if I go into Facebook, and I go into one of the Builderall groups. So I'll go into the Builderall English group. That's a good one. And right here, if you take a look, there's a search bar on the left-hand side. If I go into this search bar and just type my name, Shelly Turner, and hit enter, it's going to find my posts. the post that I've done. And if I scroll down, there it is right there. How to sell digital products. I can click right there. It gives me the link for the rest of the week to be able to sign in at the time that it starts. And then if you look at the comments, on all the comments, I've put the days. If you just scroll down, you'll hit the video on the first day, and then I'm getting ready to add the second day. So there it is right there. You can find it in either the Builderall English or the Builderall Business groups, okay? And that's how I'm going to do it until that Builderall Training Center actually comes online, and then you'll be able to go to that area, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
I got one quick question.
Okay.
I didn't go into Builderall today, and they said there was a big dashboard update. Did it come today, or was it just something that I thought I heard?
There is going to be a huge dashboard upgrade coming, and it is very, very different as far as how you access all the apps and stuff. So the good thing is they kept the personalized uniqueness part where you can add the apps that you use and kind of juggle the order. That is all still there. But that sidebar, that side menu, it's going to actually go up to the top. Yeah, so you're going to be able to access everything from the top now. And also the affiliate
So it's going to all drop down?
Yes. And the affiliate dashboard has changed dramatically. So the information that's on the affiliate page is going to be a lot better information to manage your cash flow. So all of you guys that are affiliates, I know one of the frustrations have been just tracking the money that's coming in so you can kind of guess how much money you're making per month. This is going to give you a better look at that. So I'm looking forward to you guys seeing that for sure as affiliates. So you can start managing that cash flow and really looking at how much money you're making, and then deciding and making good decisions on how much money you want to use to invest in advertising, how much money you want to invest in VAs and stuff like that, because you have a good picture of how much money you're actually making. So that's coming. Okay.
Awesome. I like the idea of moving it to the top because it was getting really cluttered on that sidebar. Once you started opening stuff up, you were like 8 miles long, and it's like hard to find out where you could grab.
And then you click something and it's like crappity crap because it closes everything you were just looking at and opens the new one, and you're like, wait, I lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no more of that. You're going to have a really great interface on the very top right hand side. So a lot smoother. Still the same look, right? That same unique pull in the apps that you normally use and rearrange them in your order, but that side menu is going to go to the top. Okay.
Awesome.
Yep, it's cool.
Yep.
I can't
Thank you again.
You're welcome so much. All right, guys, if there's no other questions, I'm going to let you go. Have a fabulous, fabulous night, and I will see you either in the training or next week on Tuesday night. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks for everything.
Bye.